Alright, welcome back to Shaving with Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. How y'all? On a rainy Saturday afternoon. And it's been raining most of the day. We got a thing sitting off the Gulf, a depression. I don't think it's a tropical storm. I think it's just a depression off Texas and pumping moisture up in here, which is, not that uncommon this time of year to have stuff doing that. Coming up on halfway through hurricane season, and we ain't had one come through here. So we're not complaining about that, not trying to get jinxed or anything. It's just a statement. But anyway, there we go. So I think I noticed that the old goatee has gotten long enough now that we can start saying that's where it's going to be. Oh yeah. And we'll get a little trim going on. The one that I used to use, Miss Luna decided she wanted to customize here a while back. And anyway, there you go. What happens sometimes, what can you do? But anyway, we'll start getting this to where it's not looking quite so shaggy. Because as it's growing out, it'll look shaggy, and then it gets out to a point, and we can dress it up. It won't be as bad. Ooh, that messed up my water there, though. I didn't think about that. Go and trim up a few. Yes, I use an electric one for this instead of scissors. Always have. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to run us another sink of good hot water here and let all that go about its business. Way we don't have all the little short hairs floating around, which wouldn't really hurt anything, but we can still get us a good wipe down there. Alright, so let's run us some more water back in here. We'll put up with that noise for a second. So it's Saturday. LSU, who I live next door to, had their first game today, I believe. But it's an away game. Next weekend will be their first home game. And if you've ever been around for an experience like that, you'll understand what I'm talking about when I say blah. I tell you, I'm glad we only put up with it some weekends, here towards the end of the month, but still, I didn't know anything about that when I moved over here, in my defense. And if I would have, I may have moved somewhere else. Although one of the reasons I moved over here, y'all hold on just a second for me. That's almost even. One of the reasons I moved over here was because of the rent. At the time was cheaper, and because I do the security for the 3 buildings here. Courtesy Patrol, that's me. The rent is still really good here. So anyway, today, so I dug around and I wanted to use one of my sets that I'd been given, and the first one that I found, the aftershave and the soap, was Burn the Ships. And so that's what we're going to use. As you remember, that is a very nice, I don't know how I missed it the first time. First time I used it, well, this is some kind of a weird scent and more of a modern smelling scent. And it's like, it's Old Spice. It's an Old Spice dupe. It's a very nice Old Spice dupe, as a matter of fact. And once again, Mr. Lawrence, thank you, sir. I was digging around trying to figure out what razor to use, and I saw this, the old Gillette, what do they call that, the click? Now the problem with these is they eventually wear out because the little plastic tabs on the end, because the cap hinges over will break. But this one is still in good shape. Well, you think you can get a good shave from a piece of plastic like that? I do. But we're gonna look at that. We're also gonna use this here synthetic brush. It's a Polar shaving, which was, I understand, made by Frank Shaving. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm not real big on synthetics. Couldn't find out, neither was Matthew when he gave it to me. It's a beautiful brush, and I do appreciate it. This could be a possibility that if I decide I just don't like the knot enough, I could actually put a real knot in it. It's a beautiful brush, so that would definitely be. But for today, we're going to see what kind of lather we get out of the Burn the Ships. Now, I understand that Mr. Hendricks has something to do with the base or something on these. I don't know the whole story. I didn't try to find the whole story out. But But anyway, I know I've had some Hendrix soaps that were really good. But anyway, let's remember, please, not to soak our synthetic brushes. It does no good. They're not going to soften up, and it makes you look kind of strange if you're, soaking synthetic brushes. Like doing 6 or 7 passes with a safety razor. It just makes you look strange. Sorry. But anyway, so yeah, kids are back. And by kids, I mean college students. And since I live right next door to campus and all up among the apartments where the kids live, I get to deal with kids. Now the problem with kids is that mommy and daddy buy them cars. And some of the mommy and daddy these days used to, if you wanted something that made a whole lot of noise and went fast and all this kind of other good stuff, you had to build it. Now you just go buy it, and it's not that expensive, and they have worked out the financing rules to where anybody can go into way more debt than they can afford and have a car that the kiddo can run around in and make all kinds of noise, and they do. They don't know the meaning of stop and then turn right on red. There's not a day that's gone by since the kids have been back that I haven't had to stand the old Expedition on its nose with the brakes because some kid decided that he could go ahead and roll through a red light and make a right turn, and I've got to try to keep from parking in his trunk. Because if you do, you're going to be at fault for hitting them in the rear. There's almost no doubt. I don't have a dash cam. And I don't even know with a dash cam if you can get away with all of them. But they don't understand that. They will make a U-turn anywhere, literally anywhere. It's just like, there's no such thing as, oh, I made a wrong turn, let me go up here and turn around. And no, it's let me just flip a U-turn in the middle of nowhere. Or it's let me stop traffic so that I can get across because I'm in the right-hand lane and I need to be in the left-hand lane and I didn't get in the right-hand back there where I was supposed to. So let me just stop traffic and work my way across all these lanes. Kids. I don't know what they teach in, this wasn't a first use blade. But I thought it was a better blade than this, but I think it's going to be okay. I don't know what they teach in driving school these days. I really don't. What do they teach about using the universal left-hand turn lane? That's what I want to know. I thought the universal left-hand turn lane was to make left-hand turns. Apparently, I'm kind of wrong in that. But around here at least, the kids are getting that left-hand turn when they're making turns from across the road. They use it as an acceleration lane. I didn't think you were supposed to do that. I thought you were supposed to wait to enter traffic until it was clear and you had room to enter traffic. Now, someone that knows the traffic laws better than me, feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong. But anyway, you're right here and you're trying to make a left-hand turn with one of them left-hand turn lanes, and you're running head-on into people that are turning from the right side of the road and coming back and using it as an acceleration lane to get into traffic. And you're just setting yourself up all the time for a head-on collision. And to me, that don't make no sense. But if I'm reading the law wrong, or if I remember the law wrong, it's been a while since I've been through driving school. But if I'm remembering it wrong, somebody let me know. All right. That was several days' growth. I don't think I showed you before I started, but it was several days' growth. I was supposed to have been off yesterday. And then I swapped out with one of the other supervisors that needed the afternoon off, so they wanted to work my night shift to let me work their afternoon shift, which was fine with me because that means I got off at 10 o'clock on Thursday night, and I wasn't supposed to go back to work till 6 o'clock on Saturday evening. So about 2:30ish yesterday, which is Friday, I decided yesterday afternoon that I was going to go out to my favorite cigar store called the Cigar Den, and they got some really nice, comfortable, I don't know if they're real leather or pleather or what they are, but they got some very nice, comfortable chairs in the back. And you can go buy you a cigar. They only allow, of course, cigars, their cigars that you buy there. Can't bring outside cigars, which is normal. And you can go sit down and smoke a cigar. And if it's golfing season, there'll be a golf game on. Apparently the guy that owns the place likes golf, which is fine with me, because believe it or not, I ain't watching golf. So I get out there, and I had literally just walked in the door and put my hands on the humidor to pick me out a cigar, and phone rings, and they needed me to come to work. As I recall, the last couple of times I've gone out there, the phone is ringing, and they needed me to come to work. So I'm either going to have to quit answering the phone or find a new cigar place. Or I just keep answering the phone and come to work because I'm a supervisor and it's just part of it. But anyway, so we finally got part of our new management team in. As y'all remember, we were swapping through managers pretty quick. And as you can tell, the last one left because I got to grow my goatee back. Yeah, we'd already talked about that. The last video, I did a video where I shaved if you didn't see it, I did a video where I shaved my beard off, and I talked about that new people. And the new guy actually has a goatee. It's not as glorious as this one. He keeps it trimmed down really nice and neat. It's good looking goatee actually, but he's got a goatee, so maybe I'm kind of safe now. We'll see. Couple of years, something may change again, and there we go. But for right now, I think we're going to get to keep the old goatee. Anyway, I went to work last night, and I didn't shave before I went to work yesterday afternoon because they needed me in. Someone had called out short notice or whatever. I don't know how short a notice, I wasn't there. But anyway, people will call out these days, and I'm talking adults this time. I'm not just talking kids. They will call out at the heartbeat for anything. And some of it, on the face of it, sounds pretty bad. They call out in their excuse. But when you get to looking at it, it's like you couldn't have taken care of that either on a day off, or someone couldn't take care of that while you're at work and you go when you get off work. I mean, that's how we used to do it in my family. I don't remember, even when my mom was sick, I don't remember her saying, oh, you need to take off work and come do this or that. I remember saying on your day off and then working with other family members so that we kept working and kept things going. And I used to hoard vacation days. So I didn't even take vacations, but I would hoard vacation days until, mom had a procedure or needed something or whatever. Then I had days off and I could put in for them, and it wasn't an all of a sudden thing where they had to try to find somebody to cover a shift. But boy, these people these days. And I'm not saying all of it's not legitimate. I'm not saying that, but there's always a certain group of people. Check that shave out. I told you that little razor to give a good shave. Yes, indeed. There's nothing wrong. Look, if you can get constant pressure and angle, if it will hold the blade, if the razor will hold the blade to where you can get constant pressure and angle, it'll shave. It comes down to technique, boys and girls. And these little old lightweight, everybody, they ain't heavy enough. It's got to be heavier. And no, it don't. It absolutely don't. Your technique needs working on. It's got to have a long handle, or it's got to have a short handle, or it's got to have this, or it's got to have that. It's like maybe you got to have some more shaving lessons at some point. Yeah, I've been shaving for years, but that don't mean you've been doing it right. I use that line at times, but the reality of it is longevity in a activity does not mean that you're good at it at all. That simply doesn't. There's a lot of people I see that have been driving for a really long time, and they can't park, and they can't parallel park, and they can't back up. And those are the ones that want to reverse park all the time, and you sit there and you're waiting on it while they're trying to back into a parking space, because that's the way the Europeans do it, and it's so efficient. We ain't Europeans, and you're just in my way, is what it amounts to. Well, it's easier when I pull out. I can see better and it's safer. Yeah, but look at what you're doing backing in. Jeez. You think it's safer holding up traffic and sitting there pulling up, backing up, and taking forever, and then you get too close to the junk I'm driving? I come out the other day and had to climb in through the passenger side again. Again, I was in uniform, so I couldn't really do anything about it. Man, it's something. It's something. But anyway, so I'm going to have to go back. Oops. My restrictor fell out of this bottle. I just had way too much. Ooh, that's a nice Old Spice dupe. It really is. I couldn't tell you if it smells like the original or not, because my nose don't work that good. But I can tell you it smells good. And it lasts a good time, I think. Although I haven't wore it in a while, we'll see how it does tonight. But I think it lasts a fair amount of time. Well, there we go. But anyway, whatever unfinished thoughts I had, y'all can probably, fill them in from listening to my videos over the years. I appreciate that. I think we're somewhere over 600 videos and over 600 subscribers, which is not by any means a huge channel, but it was never meant to be. Remember, we got Toast3, TOST3.com. This video will not be posted there because this is unmentionable there. And that's just how it is. All right, folks, y'all have a good day, good afternoon, good weekend. Have a good holiday. This is the, Labor Day weekend? Yep. So, have a good one. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, happy shaves to you.